for this tutorial, I'm going to be working with the Masters of the Light collection presets. I'm going to be showing how easy it is to make a few adjustments, a couple of little tweaks to any of the one-click options to help just bring out exactly what you want from an image if you can't quite get there in a single click. So here we have our image. This is right out of the camera, and I'm going to go ahead and apply this one-click indoor option, which is really nice. It's brought him, as you can see, we started out and he was, this is a really bright sunny day and he's under a tree and there's quite a bit of shadow on him in the shade. So I've selected the indoor preset. There's 4 different indoor options. These are ones that are nice for any sort of really low light environment. So they do help to lift the shadows. They help to bring in some warmth and really brighten things up. So they're nice for indoor images. They're obviously very nice for outdoor images as well. Okay, so we have him here, and this is great. It's really brightened him up. It's made his skin tone quite nice and creamy. It's a little bit too creamy though. It's a little bit light. So I'm going to go ahead and reduce that exposure a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and actually, before I do any of the brushes, I'm going to go ahead and have a look. What I'd really like to do is make him pop just a little bit more out of the background now, and really emphasize that nice lush green and gold tone behind him. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down here to our polish options and give him a little bit of a vignette around him to really kind of darken up the grass around him. That darkened it up somewhat, but not quite as much as what I'd like. So I'm going to go ahead and go to our brushes and see if I can't do it that way. Let's see, we have our Rich Warmth brush here, which darkens it a bit and adds a really nice golden tone. We're going to go ahead and start this at a lower density. I'm going to use 100% flow. I usually use 100% flow. I find it much easier to control that way, and I just start with a lower density and I bump up the density if it needs more, and I can layer it that way, as opposed to being concerned that I'm putting too much of a flow in one spot. So the one time that I will definitely use a lower flow and also generally a lower density to start is if I'm working with skin tones and I want to start it lower and build the effect so that it'll blend in really nicely with the rest of the skin tone. But being as we're just working on the background here and a little bit of the foreground, I'm going to go ahead and leave the flow at 100% and just start with the low density, kind of build it up a little bit. I'm going to build up some of the warmth and depth here around him. A little bit more in the trees, a little bit more behind him and around him. There's also a dark and vibrant option in the brushes and a basic darken option if you don't want to have any additional saturation or any additional warmth. You could use those, but I think that the warmth in this application is really nice. So I've done my rich warmth and really brought out that grass. Now I would like to add a little bit of a blur to it here and just kind of blend it a little bit more. This helps with your depth of field. If you don't get quite the blur that you want, you can add a little bit more. You can also, there's also a sharpening brush, but I think for this we're just going to do a little bit of blur. And then what I'd like to do is, also you can see here on his arm, there's a little bit of some red spottiness, so I'm just going to blur that just a little bit. We also have there's a red cast corrector, and there's a nice brush for soft, bright skin, but I'm not actually wanting to lighten his skin tone any further, so I just added a little bit of blur there, and that kind of helps to mask the redness just a little bit. So there you have it. Let's have a look at our finished edit. So that was really just a couple of very minor tweaks to a one-click preset, and now you could go ahead and you could sharpen this. You could add some other effects if you wanted, but this is again a very nice, clean, natural edit. Very nice and warm. Here's our before and after. We've really lifted that shadow. We've brought out the nice green golden grass around him. He's nice and sharp. His eyes are nice and blue, and I'm quite happy with this edit. So again, this is how easy it is to work with the one-click presets and the brushes and other presets in the Masters of the Light collection. So thank you for watching.